Hey guys, welcome to the Macro Trader Update. Today is Tuesday, March 19th. So for today, we'll cover the macro dashboard and our crypto dashboard. Not a lot of stuff going on today in the market for trading, but we'll make sure to highlight some of the what's going on in the macro landscape and then what's going on in the crypto landscape as well too. So let's dive in. But before we get started, I wanted to share a little bit of macro news that came from today. Basically, Japan actually raised its interest rates for the first time in 17 years. And again, not a crazy raise. They basically raised interest rates from zero, from -1 to zero now, which is getting them away from negative rates. I think we talked a little bit about, how Japan's rate policy was a macro risk a while back ago. That was from Brent Donnelly's Friday speed run, if you guys can remember from a couple of weeks ago. Just, Japan has been a really big world investor. So because of these negative interest rates, has been investing a lot of their money in the US bonds and just a lot of investments outside of Japan. And so some of the thought process and some of the risks could be involved is that now as Japan's, hiking their rates and making these rates positives could be interesting, or Japanese folks might be interested more now in the Japanese markets. And that could, bring money back into Japan. So what does that mean for risk assets and for risk in general investments? Not sure how this is going to play out. We don't know if Japan's going to have enough liquidity to kind of impact the whole global macro landscape and financial world, but it could be that, they pull out some of their investments from the US and some of the other countries as well too, and maybe start investing into Japan. We'll kind of see how this plays. I do trade FX as well too, so we'll trend and we'll take a look at how the yen is doing maybe in the next couple of videos, just to see how this impact in policy has on just the yen and then the global currency as well too. So let's dive into our macro dashboard. Okay, let's take a look at SPY first, which is the S&P 500. Right now, we're trading at 514, which is, it's up about 0.3% today and basically kind of relatively flat. I think some of you guys remember, we talked a little bit about Jem Croissant's kind of analysis on options flows. At the end of the quarterly, there, are major option expiries and kind of the flows of those option the changes. It basically kind of impacts, and there's less buying flows within the market. So Jem's prediction was, we see a 3 to 10% correction in the overall market in the S&P and the NASDAQ, and it could trend way down, and then the volatility will be down, and then we could also see the market trading sideways for the next 2 weeks or so. So I think it's kind of playing out. We're kind of seeing this play out in the SPY right now. Right now, we do have some upper targets of like 515, which is holding. We shouldn't be going below our lower targets of 509 and 505. So hopefully we'll be trading in within this range. And if we drop below the 505 support level, then we'll be a little bit more worried. Moving over to NASDAQ, a little bit more flat at 0.16%. That's trading at 438 right now. Again, very similar to the S&P. Nothing major is happening in the NASDAQ right now. We do have some major support at 436, so I wouldn't be too worried until we break this 436 level. Again, from the DeMark signals, nothing really sticks out on both S&P and the NASDAQ, besides us hitting kind of a local top for now. I think with the Federal Reserve and FOMC going on today, they'll be releasing the meeting minutes and then the revised dot plots tomorrow. And kind of right now, I think the market is a little bit worried about a potential increase in or a decrease in the rate cuts. Right now, we have 3 rate cuts scheduled for this year, and depending on how hawkish they are or what their changes, I think right now the minimum is they only need 2 of the FOMC board members to change their mind, and then they'll kind of convert that back over to only 2 cuts this year. Again, I think the market is just kind of really digesting that. So with the combination of the option flows kind of slowing down, and then with FOMC going on, I think the market is just kind of taking a little bit of a breather, seeing how this comes out. And I think after this will probably be a rally from the market as well too. Moving over to the VIX. Right now, the VIX has been trading in a range, between 15 and 12 and 13 for a while now. I don't foresee that changing anytime soon. There's no real clear direction besides being in this channel for the VIX, and I wouldn't be too worried about it. Looking at the DXY or the dollar index, it's trading at 103 right now. I think right now we did have a kind of a local uptrend for the dollar, so that makes sense. We saw Bitcoin, we saw a lot of risk assets just taking a little bit of a breather as the dollar is kind of rising. That does put a damper on risk assets, and so we're hitting this moving average line. We'll see if it kind of blows past this moving average line, or if this is kind of another local top for the dollar after the FOMC meeting, and it'll maybe continue this larger downtrend as well too, giving more upside to risk assets. Then looking at the 2-year note, this is the value of the note. So we've hit probably another major support line here. Right now the yields are pretty high on the short end of the curve and at the 2-year note. So my projection is maybe after this we hear from the Fed and then the flows come back in, we'll probably see a tick in the value, and then we'll see yields come down on the short end. Very similar on the long end. I think we have a really good support here at 113. And hopefully, we'll bounce off of this level after the meeting, and we'll kind of continue through that. I think right now the market is a little bit scared of what the Fed's going to do, but I think right now inflation, we've had a couple of hot prints from inflation, but nothing kind of alarming. I don't think the Fed is going to kind of risk the market just to get the last couple of percentages. We'll kind of see. I think some of the main theories right now is we'll kind of be in this Goldilocks reflation regime for another 6 months to 8 months, and then possibly in another year or so we'll kind of see inflation flare up again, and then that's where we would think to be risk off again. But I think the coast is kind of a little bit clear for the next couple of months anyways. So looking at gold did make an all-time high this year at almost $2,200. Right now it's kind of been just consolidating. It's getting into the middle of the range right here, and I think after this consolidation, we could probably see another run with gold here. And then looking at oil's been on a really good uptrend. WTI right now is trading at $82 a barrel. I did add some more. We do have some future trades on right now for futures contracts for oil, but I still think this trend's going to continue. I think we do have some resistance here at $83 and at $85. So overall, the macro landscape, I think with how the NASDAQ is doing and the dollar is doing, I think it's kind of a holding pattern for the market right now, and everything is just staying put and kind of just waiting to see what the Fed wants to do. And I think after the Fed is done and the options flows come back, I think then we'll get some further upside in risk assets and in markets. Before we cover the macro dashboard, just want to quickly cover Bitcoin ETF flows for you guys today. So yesterday on the 18th, we had actually our first outflow of $154 million. That was based on the record outflows here for GBTC. Again, this is kind of the first a single data point. So it's been a while since we've seen a negative day for outflows for the ETF. We'll kind of see how this plays out. We'll see what the trend is. Again, data-wise, it's much better to look at the trend rather than a single data point. But this could have an impact, or could have had an impact on what we were seeing for the price action or the down days in Bitcoin. So let's dive over to our crypto dashboard to see what's going on over in crypto land. Okay, so looking at our crypto dashboard, first thing we'll take a look at is Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is down almost 5% today. We made a yearly high on the 13th of $73, and now we are trading at $64,000. Today we got as low as, I believe, $62,000, $63,000. Right now, from the market indicators, some of these 13s actually hit, and then it took a couple more days, and then we started downtrending. Right now, DeMark, we basically just have this one on D wave indicating a potential bottom to this. I did get stopped out of my futures Bitcoin trade earlier today, but I did jump back in. I do think right now it's still buy the dip mentality for Bitcoin and for crypto, and so yeah, I did put back on this trade here for Bitcoin, and then we'll see how this is doing. Again, we do have some of the major supports here at 59,000, 60,000. So until we pass that level, I think that will be a little bit more alarming for us. Moving over to Ethereum. Ethereum's trading at about $3,200 right now. I had a big slide out as well today at almost 7%. Some of the major support levels, looking at this view, is about $3,000 for Ethereum. So we'd be a little bit more afraid if we do get some more downside past that. But Ethereum, nothing major here. It's just a little bit it's a little bit riskier than Bitcoin, so it's moving. I think for now, at least for Ethereum, the first leg of the trade has been people anticipating the Ethereum ETF. Right now, there's kind of a very low chance of that right now, and I think the base case for most folks is that if the Ethereum ETF is not going to get approved this May, and that it's going to get kicked down the road. So again, I think the first leg of this trade kind of has been passed up. We'll kind of see with this correction, and then with D-Wave as well too. Very similar to Bitcoin, we have a bottoming signal here as well too. Moving over to Solana. Solana's trading at $181,000. It's down more than Ethereum at 7.5% right now. So we did have a yearly high at $209, and then we had this major down day right here, and we're trading a little bit below that as well too. So right now, we don't have any major supports on this view right now, but I'm not too worried about Solana. I think that we had a dip all the way down to 170, and that dip was bought all the way back up to 180. So from a kind of a response to the sell-off, I think Solana and Bitcoin have been responding to this pretty. I think if you guys look throughout this the charts, Bitcoin right now is trading above this moving average line, which is good, and then Ethereum as well is way over this moving average line, which is also good. Some of these other coins like Ethereum and then some of the other smaller market cap coins, they're trading well below their moving average right now, which just means that they're technically they're not as strong as Bitcoin and Solana right now. So I think right now between Bitcoin and Solana, I think they're the strongest out of our crypto dashboard right now. Looking at Doge is down 7% right now. There's been a big meme coin craze between Doge, Bonk, Pepe, WIF. So I think right now because of the market conditions and how the dollar is rising and it's a little bit risk off, some of these coins did take a big hit right now. We have the support level for Doge at 12 cents. So I think if any of you guys are interested in a trade, some of these levels are pretty interesting to put it in a trade for a reversal. And then we have some upper targets here for D-Wave at 22 cents for Doge. So looking at Chainlink is down 3.5% right now. Again, it's moving below its average. It's holding the support right now for $16 and $16.50 right now. So pretty good support levels. Again, if you guys are looking for a short-term trade reversal, this would be, I think, a good entry point as well too for Chainlink. Looking at Polkadot right now is trading at $9.10, 13 cents. We have some upper targets right now for $12 for Polkadot, and then some lower support targets for $7.80 for Polkadot. Again, very similar to most of the crypto charts, we have this D-Wave down of 1, indicating just kind of a bottoming process for D-Wave. And then moving over to TIA, which is Celestia right now as well too. Celestia actually had a good bounce. It's up 13% over today. It went down as low as $11.50, and now it's trading at $14. So Celestia, TIA has actually been responding pretty well too in this. And then we do have some really good support level right here at $10. So this one has a good risk to reward ratio here. And we do have some targets for $19 for Celestia for those looking for a nice entry in here as well too. And then we have some really high upper targets here for about $28 for Celestia. And then for Cosmos, we're down 3% today. We are trading at $11.30. We have some support here at $9.70, and then some upper targets here of $11.54, and then some further upside of up to $15. I think Cosmos right now, this chart doesn't look too great, as you can see with let's say Cosmos and Bonk and then Doge. They've given a lot of their gains back, about 50% of their gains for the last couple of months or so. So just indicating that the markets aren't very strongly supported. And then moving over lastly to Bonk. Bonk is a major meme coin in the Solana space. Right now, Bonk is trading at 0.22. Right now, we have a bottoming process for D-Wave, just indicating a reversal. We do have some support here at 14.449, and then some upper targets here of 23.33, and then some major upside here of 0.070. So I think Bonk is another good risk to reward play if you're willing to kind of hold through the volatility of this. But again, I would wait until to see what the Fed has to say, and then how markets interact with like the next, after this week and the next week, to just to see if there's a kind of a reversal in all these trends. But overall, crypto market has had a really down day, and some of the top performers of the markets that held up pretty well is, again, Bitcoin and Solana. So hope you guys enjoyed the nice overview. I'll check you guys out tomorrow, and I hope you guys have a good day.